Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Reading. My name is Lenore and I'm going to be reading your tea leaves today. Let's see what the universe has to tell us. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. If you watch my other videos, you know I always start facing the right. I like to go counterclockwise 3 times, stop at the heart, tap 3 times, and then we'll check out what the leaves say. And also, if you are new here or returning, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. I love hearing from you. I love seeing what you're seeing in the leaves. I love hearing if any of this resonates. It's always interesting the interactions I have with people that watch the videos. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I know you're probably wondering, why do I turn the whole saucer? Well, that is because it makes a grinding sound if I turn the cup. Okay, let me get my little stick over here. All right, so immediately I'm already seeing this formation here. That to me is definitely a lobster. Okay, so I don't I'm trying to think, what does a lobster mean to me? Usually I have crabs. Okay, so these like watery crustaceans and creatures that come from the ocean or any kind of body of water, really, are very fortified. They really are survivors. They are also, I tie them to, because of where they come from, obviously, watery, like a person with watery aspects. That could be a water sign, or it could be just somebody that has the tendencies of what attributes that we would connect to water, which would be maybe a little bit of moodiness, maybe overly emotional, or they keep their emotions to themselves, but they have a very emotional interior world. Usually very intelligent people, creative, just generally, just, they're not always like lonery kind of solid people that seek solitude, but in some ways, those strands can be predominant. Maybe not in all aspects of life, but they also might be pretty slow moving as far as getting connected or things like that. So when I see either a crab or a lobster, to me, and this is maybe just my own connection of the price of buying shellfish, is that a lobster is almost kind of more of a regal creature. Okay, they're depending on where you live. Now, if you live in Maine, they might not be worth as much, but if you're in the middle of the country like I am, it costs a lot to buy a lobster. A whole lobster, a lobster tail, any of that. So when I think of eating lobsters, that's like a rich a rich person's kind of meal, right? So definitely a little more kind of a regal air to them, I would say. So I don't know. I just kind of want to turn this. And I say this in a lot of the videos, that when I pick a formation and it seems like it might be a person or an event, just turning it and looking at it from different angles gives a more dynamic understanding of the different qualities, attributes, sides of their personality, possibly. I'm not seeing anything yet. So what I'm going to do, I do see this L shape. So maybe this is a person that either has an initial that starts with an L, or it is somebody maybe that has an L describing word. You know, they might be long, or maybe they laugh a lot, or, you know, they live in luxury, as we were talking about. I don't know. It could also be like a job, a vocation, something that starts with an L. So I'm gonna look. Now this one up here looks like a little mouse to me. And I'm going to get a little more clarity before we look at the mouse and talk about that some more. These formations that end up around and on this cup there's an actual line, but when they're up around the ridge here, these are usually like supporting details, or details that have to do kind of with the higher aspects of self, metaphysical, psychological, things like that, interior things. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? You might hear my cat. You might hear my daughter in the background. She's being a big helper by trying to be a little quiet so I can do my little videos here. Okay. Now this one here looks something like, oh no, how long have I been on a focus? Okay, this one here looks, now let me see, because I'm in a different position then. Okay, here. Okay, so this looks like a little horse figure. It almost looks like a toy horse, really, rather than a horse, but it also almost looks like it has wings. So, I would say that's something like a Pegasus. So this is kind of more of, let's see, in the realm of, and because it kind of looks more, it just has that almost like rocking horse kind of look. I'm going to say that this is something that is more of like a fantasy, or maybe a perception of somebody. Maybe this is not so much their true self, but this is kind of more of a superficial, it's more of a superficial impression that we have about this person. I think that they seem very magical to you, okay? I think that there's something about them that's like, it's mysterious, but I think maybe because they are this like lobstery, probably somewhat successful, or they appear to be successful, that they kind of give off this almost like mythical, magical, just doing doing so much it's hard to understand how they got to where they're at, how they've reached the point in their life that they're at. They just are kind of otherworldly to you. But I'm getting the instinct that this is almost kind of not in matters of the heart, or in, what am I trying to say? This is like more about mundane stuff, like work, socializing, and maybe the things that they have. Maybe like a house, a car, that kind of stuff. Okay, and I think that maybe you're really taken. It seems like you're really taken by this. And I'm seeing here these two figures. Now this one here, it almost looks like it has like a head. Kind of looks like a dragon in a way. And then this one looks more like a humanoid, okay? And it has its hand up here. So I think that there seems to be some conflict already, okay? And then I'm thinking about, we had this little mouse up here. Let's look at that. There's this little mouse up here. So how's that going to tie in? I think that the way that these two are facing and the hands look like they're in movement, this dragon figure looks like it has wings that are up. It looks like almost like very much entangled in battle. Okay, so I think there's like some kind of conflict. I think it makes me wonder if there is some amount of unrequited attention, love happening. I wonder maybe if you've been drawn to this person because they seem to have things that you would like for yourself. And I think that you're attracted to the person as in a romantic, partner, but maybe maybe that's not really how it started. I think that maybe you're interested in understanding how they came to be where they're at, right? And maybe you were seeking some kind of mentorship. And it seems to me that at some point your interest in learning from them how, whatever kind of business they're in, or how they're managing their money, their affairs, whatever that was, I think for you there was a time when it switched to being more of a romantic thing. And I'm wondering if you weren't a little pushy about it, and I'm wondering if maybe there's been some pushback. I think maybe there's been an amount of being uncomfortable. And really I keep coming back in my head to this mouse up here. And I'm wondering really if the person is not feeling like maybe you have the wrong intentions, or you always had the wrong intentions. Okay. And I think that maybe my feeling is that you haven't communicated yourself well. I think you're really enamored by this person. And see, over here, now I'm seeing where this was the lobster. Oh, put you back a little bit, huh? Now, when we turn it, it almost looks like a peacock, which makes sense because they think this person is kind of a show-off person as well. But I think that they might be the type that they like to show off and get the attention, but once they've actually made a connection, I think there's a lot of like kind of closing up. Okay, and I wonder if they're not they get a little bit sketchy about people because they don't know what their intentions are. I think that at the same time, though, you had genuine intentions to learn from them, you started to have feelings for them, and that possibly that you've been kind of just so into the idea, and you've been very like sociable with them, very chatty with them, that maybe you just have that degree of being enamored, and it's really just kind of been a lot for them. Because I don't think it's because of you so much as I think that they've probably just had difficulties in the past connecting with people on a level where they felt like they weren't being used. So I'm really getting the impression that probably what's going to be in your what's going to be best for you going forward, if you really are interested in knowing this person and having a healthy relationship, and even having any kind of relationship, is that you're going to have to slow down, and you're really just going to have to be very honest. Okay? And just tell them like about the progression of how you came to feel the way you did. Also, and I think it's important that it's also very important that you are willing to hear them. If they decide that they don't want to pursue any kind of relationship with you, you need to be able to take that but not take it to heart that it's about you so much as I think this has been a thing that's happened in the past before with them, and that they seemed like a very, like, I'm getting the impression they're a very guarded person. Like, although they put themselves out there, but it's more on a superficial level. I don't think that they're really good at connecting on a deeper level with people. Okay. And so I'm going to look at this plate. I think that definitely there's going to be some mountains to climb. I think that once you are honest with them and you give them space, but are also there, available to some degree to them, I think that you're going to have to climb some mountains, and it's going to take time. There's going to be patience, but a lot of patience involved on your part. And you're just really going to have to sit in the silences sometimes. Okay, I think this is going to be like a slow burning thing. I don't see that there's going to be a lot. I think there's some, like, a bit of conflict right now. It feels like there's that energy, but I think it will slow down if you give them a little bit of space. Okay, and allow them to do this in their own time. So yeah, I think that's really, it's just going to be a process. And that's what I'm seeing. I don't really know what the outcome is really going to be, aside from the fact that there is a connection there. I think that you feel it, definitely. I don't know how in tune this other person is. I don't know. I didn't really see too much about, like, how in tune with their actual feelings they are. Okay, I think there's a lot of focus on just, well, now see, when I turn it this way, I see that there is a heart figure. Okay, so now when I was looking at this before, I was seeing that it looked like this, remember the dragon and the kind of figure that looked like a person. But now let me see if I can kind of get, like, there, right there. It looks like a heart as well. So maybe there's some conflict, but as we turn the cup just a little bit, and your perception, your vantage point changes, the way that you're able to see the formation, a heart comes into focus. So maybe there's, something there, definitely. But I think that it's going to take a little bit of time, and I think it's going to take a little bit of, just trusting in your own feelings and instincts, but definitely not being too pushy about any of this. Okay, and I think that's going to be a big deciding point for this person. Okay, so that's all I have today. I'm sorry it wasn't better news. I always like when it's just, like, straight up, like, yeah, there's a lot of love and you guys are gonna be together forever, and but it doesn't, it's life, and it doesn't always work out like that. And relationships take a lot of work, and there's a lot of different seasons of them. So if they were super easy, we would all just find the person and stay with them forever, and it would be great. But sometimes we spend many years trying to figure things out, so don't get disheartened. And maybe next time we'll have another message for you, and it will be more of a just plain and simple, this is working out for you. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I really hope that you will like, subscribe, and comment. I hope that If you enjoy these videos, you'll keep coming back. Leave me some feedback. You can find me on Instagram. Details are in the description. If you're interested in a private reading, let me know. Yeah, so basically that's it. Thank you so much. This is Lenore, and you are watching Ula Tea Leaf readings.